AOC says so many people in this country hate women. Oh, geez. Even the guy at the party who pulls out a guitar is like, way to ruin the fun. You don't really love America if you hate half the people in it. And also, if you hate a lot of the things that everybody always loved about it. There's an oft-repeated moment in political debates where the moderator says to the two candidates, say something nice about your opponent.
Ever since AOC got crowned the Democrats' next big star for 2028, Bill Maher has been shouting warnings like never before. He raised the same red flags back in 2024 when the DNC handed the spotlight to Kamala Harris, brushed off his advice, and paid the price in full. That disaster still burns in memory. Now he's back again, louder, bolder, and more fired up, slamming the cracks in their newest favorite fave. Maher isn't just speaking, he's practically shouting, begging the party not to crash another race. So if you're craving brutal truths and political fireworks, buckle up and hit that subscribe button. We aired this clip just weeks ago, and it sparked a storm.
What do you think of the fact that the people who are getting the big crowds right now are AOC and Bernie Sanders? They're going around the country. Thank you, there's that same guy. I call him the always wrong guy. Okay, but I feel like, you know, big crowds, again, the shiny object that the Democrats chase all the, it's not about the big crowds that come out to you when you're talking in a festival or wherever they are. I think it's because I think Bernie showed up at Coachella. That must have been fun for the fans. It's who shows up on Election Day. And I just don't see that's the ticket. I mean, Cory Booker, I know you've worked with him. I like Cory a lot from my home state of New Jersey. Made a speech for 25 hours. Again, just whacking each other off. This is just not what's going to get the job done.
Just days after AOC's name exploded as a possible stand-in for Kamala Harris, the spotlight turned harsh and fast. Instead of stepping up, AOC has been setting her own political reputation on fire with every baffling interview she gives. From strange economic rambles to confusing off-the-rails policy comments, she's turning heads for all the wrong reasons. If this is the leader Democrats want to showcase in 2028, they'd better hit pause and think twice, because the more she talks, the more people are asking, is this seriously the best they can offer?
Unemployment is low because everyone has two jobs. Unemployment is low because people are working 60, 70, 80 hours a week and can barely feed their kids.
Everybody's an idiot except for me.
Capitalism has not always existed in the world, and it will not always exist in the world. When this country
It is the system that, unlike all the others, has lifted more people out of poverty over the course of human history than any other system.
Well, so I think that those things that you talk about, that you discuss, are part of the course of human evolution. Yes, but I also think that what people are starting to see, at least in the occupation of Palestine, is just an increasing crisis of humanitarian condition.
And this is exactly why Bill Maher keeps hammering the panic button when it comes to AOC. Beneath the noise, the drama, and her endless online stunts, there's barely any real weight behind her words. She swaps depth for decibels and believes loud anger equals bold leadership. But it doesn't. There's no clear thinking, no real game plan, just non-stop posturing to win over social media fans, not run a country. Maher sees what's coming. If the Democrats go all in on AOC for 2028, they aren't just playing with fire, they're begging for a political collapse.
At an AOC Bernie Sanders rally in Idaho last month, someone threw a Palestinian flag over an American flag, and the crowd erupted in approval. What should have happened after that is one of the adults on stage should have told their young, loyal followers, this is not a symbol of freedom. This is. This is a serious problem for Democrats. Less than 1 in 4 Democrats under 30 say they're proud to be an American. 54% say they're embarrassed by it. Embarrassed? Like America's your mom picking you up at school? You're embarrassed to be an American? Well, guess what? The feeling's mutual. Because you have no perspective. Is America perfect? No, of course not. No country is.
Democrats are bleeding support, and it's happening fast. Much of their base is fed up with the party's obsession over woke ideals instead of real issues. Biden didn't ride out with pride. His presidency fizzled in confusion, exhaustion, and a trail of unmet promises. Kamala Harris only made the mess worse. Her scattered speeches and muddled answers pushed voters away instead of pulling them in. And AOC, she's diving even deeper into the same echo chamber that's losing the heartland by the minute. Think Gavin Newsom or Tim Walz will save the day? Think again. Their records are stuffed with scandals, hollow virtue plays, and clueless policies that push people out instead of pulling them close. Even hardcore Democrats are walking away. Some leaning towards centrists, others to independents, and many just giving up on voting entirely. This isn't just about the figureheads. It's the party's entire direction that's spinning out of touch with economic pain, safety fears, and basic everyday logic. We'll get to where Bill Maher is headed in a second, but first, let's look at what he's tearing down.
You don't really love America if you hate half the people in it. And also, if you hate a lot of the things that everybody always loved about it. There's an oft-repeated moment in political debates where the moderator says to the two candidates, say something nice about your opponent.
He's exposing a deep, almost obsessive contempt from AOC and her progressive allies for the very soul of America. Maher doesn't hold back. He blasts their staged outrage, their fixation on identity politics, and how they twist patriotism into a sin. In their world, if Trump backed it, it's evil. No matter the benefits, tax relief for working families, racist. Stronger borders, xenophobic. Energy freedom, climate denial. The logic doesn't matter. It's all about who said it. And Maher, he calls this madness exactly what it is. Ideological self-destruction. The Democrats aren't just pushing back on Trump, they're turning their backs on reality itself. And in doing so, they're pushing away millions of Americans who still believe in this country.
For all the talk about fighting for the soul of America, nobody seems to like it very much. Too many liberals give the impression that to them, America is just a big, ugh. The red, white, and ew. A country that started out bad and will always be bad, founded on an unrelenting history of sucking and unable to change. But we have changed a lot. Democrat Cori Bush tweeted, "This land is stolen land and black people still aren't free." And this was on the 4th of July. Really. Not that I give a shit about the 4th of July. I've never been a rah-rah guy. But I am a perspective guy. And that's what too much of the left has lost, perspective.
Sometimes I jump on Twitter, scroll for 5 seconds, and immediately log off. The tidal wave of anti-American hate is unreal. It's like a digital riot led by young progressives who bash the very country that gave them the freedom to rant in the first place. You watch them rip into everything: our history, our flag, our values. Like the US is some cartoon villain, not the place that gave them voice, comfort, and a future billions only dream of. I've traveled, I've seen the world outside the US. And trust me, most countries can't touch what we have here. Not in freedom, not in chances to rise, and definitely not in wealth. Yet these online warriors act like mocking their own country is some heroic act. It's not. It's clueless, spoiled, and honestly, it's humiliating to watch.
72% of black people under 30 are optimistic about their future in America. Way more than white people the same age. And as far as the land goes, yes, I guess we could change the name of Captain America to Captain Stolen Land. But honestly, to all the people who start every public event now with one of those land acknowledgments where they say, "I'm standing on land that was stolen from the proud indigenous people of the Chumash tribe," I say either give it back or shut the fuck up.
Then there's the staged activism and over-the-top pandering from AOC, and it's getting hard to watch. Everything she does feels like theater, a performance built to grab claps and votes, not actually lead. She paints herself as some tough working-class fighter, but behind that image is a very different truth. We've now learned her real name is Sandy Ocasio. Not exactly the fiery rebel brand she promotes. And forget the struggling Bronx story, she was raised in a comfy, well-off suburb. That bartending tale she clings to, let's be real, millions of college kids work service jobs, it's not some heroic comeback story, but AOC sells it like she clawed her way out of the gutter, when the reality is she's been role-playing as one of the people while reaping all the benefits of privilege. That's not honesty, it's packaging. And finally, people are waking up to the act.
AOC says so many people in this country hate women. Oh, geez. Even the guy at the party who pulls out a guitar is like, way to ruin the fun.
Compare what women can do in America to how they're treated in many parts of the world, and the difference is shocking. In the US, women can vote, own homes, chase any dream, dress as they want, drive freely, and walk the streets without being treated like second-class citizens. They can run companies, win elections, speak out loud, and shape their futures without needing a man's permission. All that kind of power is still a fantasy in huge parts of the world, where women are silenced, trapped, or worse, oppressed by ancient customs and strict laws. And yet, somehow, people like AOC try to convince us that America hates women just because it won't bow to every extreme demand from woke ideologues. But opposing gender theory isn't hate. Saying no to government overreach isn't some act of oppression. The irony here is wild. They shout about systemic hate in a country that gives women more rights, more choices, and more safety than nearly anywhere else on earth.
Congressman Jamal Bowman says capitalism is slavery by another name. No, it's not. It's the thing that has given more people more prosperity and hope than any other system, flawed though it surely is.
As for the never-ending war on capitalism, it just doesn't add up. Critics love to attack the very system that built the richest, most inventive, and opportunity-packed country on earth. Sure, socialism and communism might look nice in theory, equal wealth, no poverty, shared gains, but in the real world, they're financial sinkholes. History is packed with shattered dreams from countries that chased those ideas, only to collapse under massive red tape, dead innovation, and crushed personal drive. Just look at Venezuela, Cuba, or the old Soviet Union. These places had wealth and promise. Now they're warnings, not models. People risk everything to escape those systems and chase the American dream. That says it all. Capitalism isn't flawless, but it rewards effort, fuels invention, and drives progress forward. America shouldn't flirt with socialism. It should sprint away from it. We don't need perfect fantasies. We need proven systems that actually deliver.
But again, something like the free market is kind of synonymous with America. And if you don't like it, I don't know how you can say you love this country. You know who loves this country? You know who's not constantly complaining about what happened 200 years ago and who's not obsessed with seeing America through shit-colored glasses and shaking off the stench of what irredeemable, privileged assholes we are? Immigrants.
Exactly, because immigrants know how much worse life can be outside America. It's no accident that millions risk everything, limbs, lives, and liberty just to set foot on our soil. They cross deserts, brave deadly seas, and face brutal suffering, not for freebies, but for freedom, dignity, and a real chance to thrive. If America were truly the hellscape AOC and her crew claim it is, then why do people from every corner of the earth fight so hard to get here? The answer couldn't be clearer, because even with its flaws, America still shines as a symbol of hope. Immigrants aren't chasing socialism or identity games. They're chasing the dream. They understand the real difference between being free and being controlled. That's why it's absurd to hear pampered politicians slam this country while lounging in offices paid for by the people they insult. Immigrants know what progressives pretend not to. America still delivers. The truth? The loudest critics are often the most pampered. Meanwhile, those who've lived in chains know exactly why this country still matters. Don't buy the noise. America isn't perfect, but it's still the greatest shot at liberty, success, and truth this world has ever seen.